So, Rob Parker on Undisputed made a claim about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I listened to it, and he basically states, you can watch it yourselves, he states that this Cleveland team isn't what it's cracked up to be, and he feels like they're just frauds, and that they're not really much better than they were from the last year, from the teams, the Cavs teams of the last 4 years. He doesn't believe that they're actually good. And to an extent, I actually have to agree with him, though. I mean, he states that he kind of points out their record. He points out that besides the fact that they defeated, OKC and Boston, which were two big games, they haven't really beaten one. They beat Memphis, Atlanta, and Brooklyn. They gave up like almost 120 points. That's what he says. And, he just claims that's just ridiculous. And I'm beginning to see a theme here. This is why we do not judge a team so quickly. This is the issue. And this is something I didn't want to jump on so quickly. Everyone was getting too hyped up about these 2 wins that they had against, even though they were against these big teams. It happens all the time, and this is why I can't kind of get tired of the Cleveland talk. Every time they lose a game, it's the end of the world if they give up a certain amount of points. And it's like Cleveland doesn't get a break. I'm sorry, man, but I really start to feel bad for Cleveland. Because it seems like every time, guys, take it easy and just let them flow out. We don't know how they're going to react when the playoffs come. They don't have Kevin Love, too. Everyone's getting too hyped up. They overhype it when they lose, and they overhype it when they win. They need to relax. Because we don't know how they're going to do against the 2 top teams in the East. We don't know how they're going to look. And everyone's going to be like, well, this is going to be easy for Cleveland to get to the final. They have young pieces, but we don't know what they're going to look like in the playoffs. Because the only one who has experience is Rodney Hood and George Hill. And a few other guys. The people jumped on the bandwagon too quickly. And this is what I really despise about some of these fans. You guys are impatient. You want the wins to come now. You just want your team to just shine brightly. And they lose one game. It's everybody's fault. And I'm beginning to see something dangerous. They did give up a lot of points in that Brooklyn game. And I don't hold wins or loss accountable. But it's time to point something out, man. LeBron needs to let go of that ball. He is going to wound up and mess that team up. And Rob Parker made one thing right. I don't like to call them frauds. They're not frauds, but they definitely are not a championship team. They're a last-minute team that in the end is realizing their run is over and they're preparing for the future. If they make it to the finals, I will be very surprised. Everything would have to go right. They would have to get the right matchups. They'd have to get everything perfect for them. And I swear, if they go through the cakewalk through the East one more time, then they need to abolish the conferences. Because this is ridiculous. And I don't trust these Eastern Conference teams. I feel like they're just going to end up something's going to happen to them, and then we once again have to see LeBron in the finals. And it's going to be another wreck of Cleveland and Golden State. Hopefully one of them get knocked off. I don't care who. I don't care if Golden State doesn't make it out of the West. Finally, at least we can see a different team. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what he's saying though. This team, we 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 don't know yet, and I feel would feel very silly if I just tried to make a quick statement on it. Do I feel like they're a championship team? No, I don't. They're not winning a championship with that team. Let's be real. Let's be honest. They don't have a good center. They don't have a true second scorer on their team. And that's supposed to be Kevin Love, but he's out right now. And we don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back to the playoffs. And they don't practice, so what is he going to look like? Are they much better than the team last year with Kyrie and Love? No. Noted they're passing the ball much better. You know, they're looking younger, more athletic. But you know, that can only get you so far. There are favorites to make it out of the East, but it is becoming a little insulting when every time this happens, they just overlook the two best teams in their conference. And let's be honest, Cleveland isn't in that discussion. It's only Boston and Toronto. They're the two best. The other ones are just a mix-up. Cleveland's the third seed because, you know, they have to put Cleveland there. I mean, it has LeBron on that team. You know, for goodness sakes. But I think I agree with Rob Parker is saying, even though he's speaking facts, he is telling the truth. I mean, they definitely are better after the trade. They needed that to happen. It just wasn't working out. That they would have kept that team the same way. They would have been out the second round easily. Boston would not have had a single issue. This team is a little bit different, though. And if you guys really think, you know, that team would have been much better. No, they would not. I trust this team more than I trust the team they had before the trade deadline. There's really not much to say about it, but I feel like we need to stop riding this Cleveland team. And people are overlooking them, they're overhyping them, they're overhating on them. We don't know what they're going to do. We need to be careful on that. I mean, right now, I'd say Cleveland would be a second round exit. Will they make it to the conference finals? I mean, if they run into Boston, they're not gonna really have home court in the second round or in the conference finals. So, I mean, can LeBron lead this third tier team to the finals? I don't think so. I mean, if they keep playing the way they do and they just keep playing that dribble, pass, shoot mentality, then no, because all a team really has to do is just shut everybody around LeBron down and put him on an island and make him the scorer. You know how much better they'd be if they actually moved the ball. You see, this is the issue I kind of have with LeBron. He's trying to change these players who already can create, who've been around coaching, who already can create their own shots and turning them into spot-up shooters. And I already see it's taking an effect on the team. They're probably not practicing anymore, and they're suffering from it. It showed in that Brooklyn game. And Brooklyn is not bad. Don't get me wrong. Brooklyn's a tough team. They just need a proper coach. They have good pieces. They just need to figure out what they're doing with their future because they look like they're going nowhere and they're just too scared. They're getting some good pieces. I just say they just need a good coach, and that Brooklyn team could be something. So I'm not hating on Brooklyn because their Nets are not bad. They have good young talent. They just need to get that team into a winning mentality. So I'm not hating on Cleveland that they gave up some points. You know, they got some pretty, some pretty solid pieces. But can this team beat anybody from the West? No. I don't see them beating. I mean, they could beat OKC, but that would be mostly because of the bench. Let's be honest, Cleveland's starting lineup sucks. You know why it sucks? I know. The man of the hour, LeBron James, and the terrible dribble pass shoot to pad them stats. And I keep telling you guys, he adds his stats. And he's the reason the offense isn't flowing right. And no, he does not make anyone better. I don't want to hear that anymore. So Rob Parker, I applaud him for telling the truth because some people need to hear this. Now I know the truth kind of sucks because you like LeBron. I get that. But still, do you believe that if they face either Golden State or Houston or even OKC, do you feel like Cleveland can knock them off? Can they even beat Toronto or Boston? Those are two teams they're facing. And if everything goes right for Boston and Toronto, this might be the last ride. Cleveland might get knocked out of the second round. And I hope to see it too because the East needs to let another team go there. This needs to happen. We need to see this team knocked off. If they go to the finals, well, whatever. But still, it'd be pretty shocking. I would think, conferences need to go now. They would just have to start over with the East. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what your opinion is, and I'm out.